Hey, what's going on, Dodgers Nation? Doug McCain here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. For all latest Dodgers news and rumors all off-season long, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. And as always, I want your takes down below in the comment section. Today's Dodgers Nation question of the day: would you consider trading Gavin Lux this off-season, and what position of need would you address with Gavin Lux? And also, would you include him in a deal for Matt Olson, or one that includes Luis Castillo or Sonny Gray? I want your takes down below in the comment section. And for all latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. So today I've got some thoughts on if the Dodgers should consider trading Gavin Lux this offseason, and we've got a trade proposal for Matt Olson, and we've also heard some rumors that the Dodgers have been in contact with the Cincinnati Reds about Luis Castillo and Sonny Gray. But first, let's talk some Gavin Lux, and if the Dodgers should seriously consider trading the former top prospect this offseason. Now, it was an up and down year for Lux. He started the year, the Dodgers, they said they were going to give him a runway at second base, and he got off to a cold start. Up until May 12th, he had a .515 OPS. The Dodgers had lost 15 of 20 games, and then he hits that big 3-run blast against the Seattle Mariners in that epic comeback. And after he hit that bomb, he's pounding his chest, he's yelling to the dugout, LFG. And as you're watching that game, you thought that was his moment. Now he's ready to break through and be that all-star caliber second baseman. Well, that wasn't the case, and he did have to slide over to short after Corey Seager went down after breaking a bone in his hand, and he did an admirable job filling in for him, but offensively, he just was never able to get it going consistently enough. Before being sent down to the minors in August, Lux was slashing .221, .302, .340. He had a 78 WRC plus and a 23.4% strikeout rate. He ended up with 6 home runs and 37 RBIs and 321 plate appearances through 85 games. So it was a nice sample size, and he just wasn't getting it done. And then they sent him down to the minors. It gave him some time to figure some things out. They worked on his swing, they simplified it, they worked out some of those mechanical issues, and you saw he definitely put in that work. You know what they say, the harder you work, the luckier you get, and all that hard work paid off for Lux when he was activated in September. He ends up slashing .360, .467, .500, had a .413 WOBA, a .162 WRC plus in his last 17 games, and the most impressive thing was he lowered that strikeout rate to 13.3%. So he looked like a different guy after he came back up, and he had a different role because they were throwing him in the outfield. He was playing some center field. You saw him in the corner outfield spots, and really the outlook for Gavin Lux has changed. It was once going to be a everyday second baseman. Now it looks like his real value is to be a middle infielder, a guy that can also potentially play some corner outfield, some center field. And when you look at his athleticism, I think he can learn how to play those positions. If you give him an entire offseason, you give him those reps, he has the athleticism and the skill to find a way to be a competent outfielder. I don't think it's a situation like a Matt Beatty or a Zach McKinstry where I don't truly believe in their talent defensively. I think Gavin Lux, if you give him the reps, he will improve. He has that speed. I call him Lightning Lux. So when you have that kind of athleticism and that elite sprint speed, it's just about putting in that work, and I think Gavin Lux could get there. So I think he has a different type of value now, knowing that he could be a potential super utility man. Could he potentially take over for Chris Taylor if he signs with another team? I definitely think that's a possibility for Lux. Now, he didn't have the best postseason, but he did have that clutch base hit in Game 5 of the NLDS off of Doval, who was unhittable in that series, and that passed the baton to Bellinger. He ends up getting the big base hit that helps the Dodgers win that game. So the point is, Gavin Lux did increase his stock down the stretch, and he doesn't look like that bust that a lot of people were thinking that he was at one point. Now, is his stock as high as it was when he was the top prospect in Major League Baseball? No, it's not. I think it is a good question as to how will other teams value Gavin Lux. Will they look at this last 17 games as an extremely small sample size? Will they ask themselves, who is the real Gavin Lux? Absolutely they will, but you can also see that potential in him, and he definitely flashed that late, and I think it was just enough where the Dodgers do have an attractive asset to play with this offseason. If they do strike out on re-signing Chris Taylor and Corey Seager, will they flip him for a middle infielder? If they miss out on Max Scherzer, will they include him in a deal for a Sonny Gray or a Luis Castillo? I think that when it comes to whether or not the Dodgers will or won't trade Gavin Lux, you kind of have to wait to see how free agency shakes out. Will they bring some of these guys back? And if they don't, then will they look to aggressively flip Gavin Lux for a frontline starter or an impact position player? Because I think that if you're the Dodgers, that could be your contingency plan. And I think there's a few things that we really learned from Gavin Lux this season. One, that he is resilient, that he is willing to put in that work and make some adjustments to his swing. We saw that. I was impressed by that. But also, two, that he isn't that long-term solution at shortstop. Heading into this season, we said, hey, if Corey Seager walks, Gavin Lux can take over short, and that'll be that. Well, there's no question that he can get it done at shortstop, but the Dodgers told us when they traded for Trey Turner that they want an elite shortstop, and Gavin Lux is not going to be an elite shortstop. So we know that at this point, and we also learned that he's capable of being a utility man, and I think that's big, especially when you consider the fact that Zach McKinstry hasn't panned out like we had hoped. So would I trade Gavin Lux? Well, one, I want to see who the Dodgers are going to be able to sign. Will they re-sign Corey Seager? Will they re-sign Chris Taylor? Because in my opinion, if the Dodgers, they sign Corey Seager, there's no way they're going to sign Trey Turner. I think it's either or with those two, and then you're going to need a utility man that you can trust. And do they think Gavin Lux can be that guy moving forward? I definitely think they do at this point, especially with an entire offseason to develop him in those outfield position spots. Now, would I consider dealing him if they bring him back? Well, it depends on for who. Are we talking about a Luis Castillo or a name that was brought up by Jim Bowden of The Athletic? He included Gavin Lux in a deal for the A's All-Star first baseman Matt Olson. He proposed the Dodgers get Matt Olson, and they send Gavin Lux, Tony Gonsolin, and Phil Bickford to the Oakland A's. So the first takeaway there is, where are the prospects? That's all big league talent. That's guys that have contributed in the show, from Tony Gonsolin to Phil Bickford, who was really a Freeman discovery last year, a real scrap heap guy, a reclamation project that they turned into a really nice piece last season. And just knowing how the A's operate as an organization, you would have to believe that they would want some prospects instead of a guy like Tony Gonsolin, whose value has declined over the last few seasons. And Phil Bickford, a lot of people might say, hey, is he a volatile bullpen piece that's a one-year wonder? So I don't think that's enough to get a deal done for Matt Olson, because he's such a good player. Also, you know, the Yankees, they could be hot on his tracks as well, and they could put together a really attractive package that the A's might be interested too. Now, Matt Olson, he's a fantastic player. He really is elite at this point. Last season, he had a career high in home runs with 39, a career high in ribbies with 111. He had 271 in 156 games, 565 at-bats this season. If you look at his other numbers, he was 8th in all of Major League Baseball in WRC Plus at 146, 17th in WOBA at 379, 19th in F-WAR at 5. He was 12th in walk percentage at 13.1%. So his style, not expanding the strike zone, taking your walks, that would fit in to the Dodgers' philosophy. And also, if you lose Corey Seager, you have another left-handed bat that you can give you some pop and get you those base hits that you're going to miss with Seager leaving. So I think it's an interesting idea. To me, it's more of a luxury at this point, though. That is a position where the Dodgers, they have Max Muncy. And Max Muncy, he made those improvements last year defensively. But if you put Matt Olson at first base, and then let's say Seager walks, you sign Trey Turner, just look at that infield, because you could put Max Muncy at second base. But I think when it comes to Matt Olson, that's just not on the front burner right now if you're the Dodgers. They need to find a way to get the middle infield situation figured out, to get the starting pitching situation figured out. And that, to me, are the two key parts of this offseason. Now, it would be nice, because there is no denying that Matt Olson is one of the better players in this league, but it doesn't address a real pressing need great for the Dodgers. And also when you consider the fact that Gavin Lux is under team control for another 5 seasons, he doesn't hit free agency until after the 2026 season. Olson is under team control for another 2 years. So with Lux, if they hit on Lux and he turns out to be the guy that we had hoped or even close to it, you're going to get more value in the long run, especially when there's so many guys that you're going to have to pay. So for me, I'm only moving Gavin Lux if it's for a frontline starter, a guy like a Luis Castillo, or an elite position player that plays a position of need. And I know a lot of you guys like Jose Ramirez. He's under contract for 1 more year, and then he has a $14 million club option in 2023. Well, he plays third, so that would be a more premium position based on what the Dodgers need at this point. Now, another thing I want to quickly touch on is Sonny Gray. Bob Nightingale, he reported that the Dodgers have been in contact with the Cincinnati Reds about Luis Castillo and Sonny Gray. And Luis Castillo, we did a whole video on him. Sonny Gray, he's another guy that could come in and help solidify this Dodgers rotation. And Gray's under contract for 1 more year at $10.2 million, and then he has a club option for $12 million in 2023. So I don't hate the idea of Sonny Gray. He is a tier below of the guys we've been talking about when it comes to the Castillos or the Scherzers or those real frontline ace level pitchers, but he could be a nice part of this rotation. Sonny Gray out in sunny California, I don't hate the idea. But let me know down below in the comment section, would you be willing to trade Gavin Lux, and what would you flip him for? What are the factors in play for you? I want your takes down below in the comment section. And also, yes or no, would you trade Gavin Lux in a package for Matt Olson? I want your takes down below in the comment section. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. For all things Dodger baseball, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Dodgers content, smash that like button. For our latest Dodgers Nation merch, head over to gearup.la, download the new Dodgers Nation app. For latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.